What's up, y'all? Welcome into the LA Sports Brotherhood. It's me, Ryan, here with my brother Matthew. And the Dodgers hold the White Sox to 3 runs total in a 3-game sweep in Chicago. Um, Dominant pitching is a story of this one. Unfortunately, it is not the story for Bobby Miller, which is probably one of the most important outings of the entire series. But for the positives, Matt, we looked really good. Offense didn't look crazy, but did the job every single time. Otani did look crazy. We're gonna have a lot to say about him for sure. But what do you got for this series, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not Bobby Miller and you play for the Dodgers, you didn't give up a run this series, which is really freaking incredible. I mean, the White Sox are probably the worst sports team I've seen in my life, but it's an MLB team and 2 shutouts in 3 games,
Yeah,
and literally Bobby Miller was the only human to give up a run to them, and that was just in those 2 innings. Just an outstanding job from an outstanding pitching staff.
yeah,
Uh, Bullpen didn't have to pitch in the third game, but I'll get to Stone in a minute. You know I've fallen in love with him since he's been a Dodger. But it's just you did what you had to do. Otani's carrying the offense right now. Um, that I'll just cover. Otani's incredible, man. He's the best. I don't. I think maybe I'm stretching. He's the best athlete I've ever watched with my own 2 eyes. And I love LeBron. Obviously, I'm a Laker fan. Because I played this sport, it is unbelievable what he's able to do. He is using half of his skill set, and he's the MVP leader. I don't think people understand that.
yeah,
The leader for MVP odds right now, or I'm not sure, and he's not even using half of his skill set. Unbelievable. And he's carrying the staff, and it's not just like, oh, it's cool. Like, we need this. We really need this. Mookie's hurt. We truly need this, and he's coming through. Going to be a Dodger legend. Paxton continues to do his thing. Uh, no runs, like I said. The bullpen's incredible. The starting pitching's weak, but these are really important for Paxton, for Stone, for Glass now, who didn't pitch the series. They need to keep giving excellent starts because Bobby Miller's come back and he struggled. Landon Knack, a big fan of him, but we're gonna need our aces to be like aces. And I'm calling Gavin Stone an ace now, so I'll get into him now. A complete game shutout, and I'm gonna do a breakdown on him where I go pitch by pitch. But this guy, I mean, 4 hits, 7 Ks. You know, he is now tied with Zach Wheeler, one of the best pitchers in the sport, with a 2.73 ERA. That's top 5 in the NL, and he's tied for fourth. He's an all star. Like I don't care what anyone says, he is a freaking all star. Him and Glass now are a legit 1-2 punch. So
yeah,
I'll kick it back to you because the story of the series is pitching. Reg- what we've seen from Bueller and the fact that he's on the IL, the fact that Bobby Miller's looked bad, the fact that Kershaw's still not back. It's very and Yoshi's hurt. There's very low lows and there's very high highs. Do you think that this staff, which has been incredible even through these struggles, or do you think this will be a staff that's going to need to add a pitcher? Because I don't remember the last time we've gone clean through the year and didn't have to add a pitcher because of injuries. And this one is particularly really, really deep, and they've been incredible. So do you think we're going to need to add an arm?
I think they shouldn't ignore pitching. I don't like if the deadline comes and goes and they don't end a single starting pitcher. I'm not gonna be upset. But if like a leak comes out saying the Dodgers refuse to look at starting pitching, whatever, that wouldn't happen. But like in the hypothetical, I would be confused because well, it's mostly it's mostly based on Yamamoto. If the
Yeah.
Dodgers are 100% sure that he will be back by September, fully stretched out, ready to go for the playoffs, I don't think they need any pitching. Because then we'll have Glasnow, Yamamoto, and then honestly, I'm going to throw Stone in there as a pretty solid guy. And then some semblance of Bobby Miller, Walker Buehler, Clayton Kershaw. Hopefully, all of their arms are not blown up. Um, Granted, I would still take an elite pitcher like Garrett Crochet we saw in the first game. Crazy stuff. Like really, truly crazy stuff to watch him pitch. Like I wouldn't be mad if he's a Dodger, but I don't think like the prices for starting pitching that's going to be like relevant to the Dodgers are going to be insane. So if they feel like they have the depth, they can do it. Otherwise, honestly, I'm fine. I'm fine if they don't get another bullpen piece too. I know every single, well, they shouldn't because they've had the best bullpen in the majors. They've had the best bullpen in the majors for like 4 years straight, just to be clear. But this year they've been on another level. Um, and Dodger fans are still going to be upset. But like even like guys like Johan Ramirez, we talked about. You mentioned everybody not named Bobby Miller went scoreless. His last 15 games, which is 17 innings, he has a 1.56 ERA, a WHIP under one. Johan Ramirez, he got DFA'd like twice this year. I mean, it's just what the Dodgers do. But like, that's the type of contribution we're getting, and he is the seventh man in the bullpen. I would say. I think it's Michael Peterson's for sure like the last guy, like the cleanup guy after Bobby Miller. Uh, only went 2 innings. I think Peterson went 2 innings himself, scoreless. He's been nice to see. Ramirez, Banda, and Peterson are like the bottom three, and they've all been good. Like that this bullpen's elite. I don't think they need to address there. I would be fine if they go after another controllable starting pitcher. I don't want them to be like, oh, we have a bunch of guys coming up. We can kind of wait on it. They need to upgrade if there's a chance, but I will not be upset if they don't.
Yeah, I mean, it's really it's so interesting because like the fact that we're talking about needing pitching when when fully healthy, you had three guys under a 3 ERA, and Kershaw, Bueller, and Bobby Miller aren't even included in that. But the really the only negative of this whole series is Bobby Miller, and it looked rough. He just threw a fastball down the middle to Andrew Benintendi. Command wasn't great. It didn't look good against a bad team at that. But it's his second start. I'm starting to get a little worried because we touched on this last time we talked. Like we were well before that we were like, yeah, we don't really need him, and like he's such a bonus. Now we need him with Kershaw. You never know. Honestly, hold your breath. Yamamoto, have no idea, and Bueller has looked awful, and now he's taking a little bit of a break. We need Bobby Miller, and he did not look great by any stretch. So
Yeah.
I think we got to see what happens next game. I just want like a freaking outing, to be honest. Like he went 2 innings, gave up a home run. It's he has all the stuff in the world. We've seen it. The first game of the year, he looked so dominant. He looked like the ace over. He looked like Glass now, and we just got to see it. I might make a video about him too, and then the struggles and what he needs to improve on. I think it's very interesting, very interesting. You look at last year, like if they told you last year on August 1st that Gavin Stone would have a 2.73 ERA and Bobby Miller would have a 6.75 and like 4 games started, I mean, I would have told you were crazy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Or that we would
and
be
it's
in a
like,
lot of trouble.
and like as prospects, they weren't even like that far. Like Stone wasn't flashy. Stone was a top 100 prospect,
Yeah.
and he's been fantastic. Miller struggled, but I mean, I'm not gonna lose faith in Bobby because I mean, if he gets going without Bueller and Kershaw, you're looking at it, and Yamamoto. That's still a great rotation with
Yeah.
Paxton in there at the 4.
Yeah.
So do you
It's
you have any thoughts about Bobby?
I I remember in our Colorado video, this most recent one, we talked about maybe giving him a Coors tax. But we both mentioned that the way he struggled was exactly the way he struggles when he's not doing well. It's getting ahead in counts, not being able to put guys away, leaving a 2-strike pitch in the zone and getting beat. And that happened again and again and again, and he walked 3 guys on top of that. This is this is just who Bobby Miller is if he's not dominating. And I know it's like, of course, if he's not dominating, of course he's not going to be great. Guys cannot have their stuff and give you 5, 6 innings, kind of like really grind through, give up a couple runs. And Bobby has done that. And in fact, that Colorado game kind of was that. But it's almost like it's incomprehensible to me that a guy with some of the most elite stuff I've ever seen will straight up not be able to get a single guy out. He cannot miss any bats unless his stuff is like perfect. His 99-mile-an-hour fastball with rise is getting touched up like crazy because he doesn't know where to put it, or he knows where to put it but he can't get it there. Or I honestly I don't even know. I was a pitching
Yeah.
guy. It's just I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, honestly, it's like the incredible stuff. It's either dotted, like exactly where he wants to go, or it's right down the middle fastball. It's a hanging curveball, it's a hanging changeup. And I don't know what to make of that. It's like he's either perfect or he's awful and missing right down the middle of the plate where everyone can hit it. And at first, honestly, I thought it was a bit of like cockiness and like you can't hit me, a little bit of that Bueller syndrome he had early on in his career. Now I just think he can't locate in really tough situations with and this isn't even the last two games. This is what I've saw like previously. He doesn't have his stuff. There's a runner on second and third. He can't locate the fastball. He can't locate the slider. It's either a walk or it's a hit. That's where it really struggles.
Yeah.
When he's ahead, like we've mentioned, 1-2-0-2 counts. He can't make the tough pitches. That's to me always been his biggest flaw. Incredible stuff, and sometimes he even misses, and he still misses a bat. He doesn't what Stone has molded into. He's learned how to pitch. He's learned how to make the right pitches, the accuracy, the location of everything. Stone Miller hasn't adapted into that pitching, but it's been too long now where I've said, okay, he'll get into it. He's still young. It's starting to think like, okay, is this who Bobby Miller is? Will he ever, you know, learn how to pitch, like learn how to locate, learn how to make the right pitches, and grind out games when he doesn't have his stuff? Because that's what's hurt him. The two strike counts and games where he doesn't have his stuff. And MLB pitchers, I'll tell you all the time, you're not always going to have your stuff. In fact, you probably aren't going to have your stuff more than you do have your stuff. Okay, I mean, I'm not an MLB pitcher, but I've heard that a ton of times.
Yeah.
And we've seen Stone mature. It seems like overnight. Through one season, he's matured. I keep bringing up Stone, but literally, he went from horrible to really good. Miller has had the same time to develop, minus the injury. He had the whole offseason though, and he hasn't. So I'm starting to get worried. Is this just Bobby Miller?
Yeah. I don't know.
Because
Obviously
sorry,
he's young. Go ahead.
to be honest, because if he, let's say he dominates the next three starts, if that fourth start is 3 innings, 6 runs, he gets touched up, I'm gonna be thinking, okay, it's the same Bobby Miller, you know. I if he even gets back, I think he'll get back to like he'll go on a run where he's good because his stuff's that good. I want to see the games where he doesn't have his stuff. Does he get touched up? Because if he starts 5 games in the playoffs and one of them he gets touched up, that one game could be a loss, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Also, even beyond all of like our wanting him to be good because he can be elite, is we don't have a lot of starting pitching depth now, and the bullpen has thrown so many innings. Like they had to cover 7 innings on like Gavin Stone. I guess let's transition into him because that's like the brightest spot of the series for me. But Gavin Stone pitched a complete game shutout. It was incredible. He was dominant. The easiest game I've ever seen him pitch. It's like no sweat at all. He almost got a Maddox, which is under 100 pitches, complete game shutout. Um, and that was after, like I just said, 7 innings of bullpen work. Like the bullpen is dying. There's a clip of David Vassay filling in for Christian Watson about to interview Stone after the game, and the entire bullpen came and patted him on the back, like shouted him out specifically, and it's like, yeah, I was congratulating him or whatever. But it's like they're probably like, thank God we had to warm up so many times. We had to come in back to back days. Like that's the biggest thing with Bobby to me. He's like, on his way back, whatever. I'll give him time. Obviously, we're not giving up on him as a prospect, but you cannot throw 60 pitches in 2 innings and be like, "Oh, sorry, bullpen, you got me the rest of the way," right? Like that sucks. That's going to blow up teams for like weeks or like at least a week of baseball. If Stone was out in the fourth, there would have been like Michael Peterson would have been DFA'd probably, and that's not a joke. Like he would have thrown another inning and a half, 2 innings because he would have had to, and they would have DFA'd him. And it's crazy to think about that. Like genuinely, like Gavin Stone might have saved somebody's Dodgers like career, and it's crazy. Like thinking about that is wild. But yeah, that's how it goes. When you don't pitch innings as a starter, you throw the bullpen under the bus really bad, and you mess with people like severely. So yeah, that's my biggest thing with Bobby. But anyway, like we said, getting to Stone, Matt, I'll toss this to you.
Yeah, he's. I mean, like I say it every time. Freaking fall in love with Gavin Stone. He's like, he's matured so much as a pitcher. Like he doesn't. He started in that game in the Bronx. He doesn't look nervous, and he's so in control. And like I mean, we've talked about this before this channel existed. The Dodgers have had so many guys where it's like fastball changeup, fastball slider, whatever. It's a two pitch guy,
Yeah.
but they gotta add that third pitch. They gotta add that per third pitch. And a lot of them don't. Urias was actually one that didn't. Honestly don't want to say his name on the channel ever again. But Stone really has added that third pitch with the slider, and like in this game he had some disgusting changeups. So now he has a fastball that the contact does not get. He does not get hit hard on the fastball. Truly one of the best changeups in the sport. It's really great. And now he has a slider that can go to righties. It's not just like a Tyler Anderson kind of thing or like a Andrew Heaney kind of thing. Like this is a legit great pitcher, an all-star pitcher, and he's been one of the best in the game. Like he has the arsenal to be like a playoff guy and a legit like really good starter. And my God, the best thing about him is the efficiency. Like you said, he almost had a Maddox. He's so efficient, and a Glass now is also incredibly efficient. That guy is always going deep into games. You could not ask for a better 1-2 punch when you're dealing with injuries and the bullpen's getting used. Like those two guys really deserve a round of applause. And like I said, I'll have that video out on Stone. I mean, not even a walk, man. Just a tremendous game from Stone. He was the highlight of the pitching staff. We haven't talked too much hitting. I'll ask one question. Will Smith didn't record a hit in this game. Are you worried about Smith at all?
You meant series, because he didn't play
Yeah,
today. But
sorry.
yeah, I know
Yeah.
I know what you meant to worry. Worried, no. I was actually gonna bring him up because he is almost at a 700 OPS now. He's at 802. And I was looking at the lineup, obviously without Mookie or Muncy, which neither of them will be back before the All-Star break. Um, but it honestly reminds me exactly of last year's team. Freddie has been absolutely on fire, so he's back to like last year. He's actually like rate stats are probably over last year's for like this little stretch, but just generally, he is last year a top 3 MVP. Freddie, Shohei is otherworldly, like even better than Mookie was last year somehow. And then it's kind of like, I hope Pajes gets a hit today. I hope Miggy Rowe gets a hit so he can keep the streak up. Oh, Hayward been good, but like Hayward was pretty solid last year. And then it's kind of it. Rojas 750 OPS, great. Hayward 770 OPS, awesome. Pajes OPS barely over 700, but we know the streak has been good. And then you get Vargas, who may play once every 5 days, which is cool. If not, you get the 3 worst hitters in baseball with Lux, Taylor, and Biggio. And it's like, we spent $1 billion in the offseason, and we have the exact same team as we did last year, essentially. So yeah, Will Smith needs to be better. He's been horrible for like 2 weeks. Like his OPS was almost in the nines, and he's about to hit 700. That's nasty. Granted, Teoscar
Yep.
didn't play. I'm looking at a different one. It's like Teoscar played today, and I don't like him in the 2 hole. I would rather have Freddie bat 2. Brat's the bat second. Will Smith's not playing, or even I was gonna say Pajes. Nah, not Pajes. But I don't know anybody else. Teoscar is. I want him to sit with Mookie and Muncy out. I want him to sit at 4 just every day. He doesn't have to think about anything. Don't have to try to change your approach if you Don't know if he would or wouldn't, but yeah, I want him sitting for a spot no matter what, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's. I mean, they're rough lineups. They're
Ugh,
pretty bad lineups.
this is disgusting.
I mean, Mookie. I mean, you're missing two of your best players.
Yeah,
That's gonna happen, obviously. If you take, um, what would the equivalent even be? You take Soto and Verdugo out, I guess. That's disrespectful to Muncy. They don't have a player as good as Muncy. But
yeah, but something
the point
like
I'm trying
that.
to make, you take two great hitters out. It's gonna be rough. But this is a team that was supposed to be really deep. I think. Yeah, it's oh my God, it's right. Like I don't even have a solution. You have Smith is I agree. Smith is really the key because just looking at these lineups, it disgusts me. The other thing I want to see freaking Vargas. I mean, that guy just keeps getting hits.
Yeah,
But if it's like he plays twice in a 3 game series and goes 2 for 6, let him play more. I mean
yeah,
he's keeps getting hits, keeps getting hit. I think he played twice this series, was 1 for 2 twice.
I believe
Yeah,
so.
just let him play. He does not have an explosive bat at all. In fact, it's probably one of the slowest in the league. But he keeps getting hits. He keeps putting the bat on the ball. And is can it really get much worse than Kike and Taylor? Like I like Muncy needs to come back, and I know he's not. But watching Kike play is been making me sick. And he's our third baseman right now. It's just I don't know, man. It's pretty rough right now.
Yeah, we talked about um what like if we want to trade for pitching, and we can if we want. We need to trade for an infielder.
Yeah.
I don't care. We need to trade for an infielder, even if it means you have to cut Taylor or Kike. It would be Kike because Taylor has a year on his contract. I I can't do this anymore. I Lux is slap hitting his way into. I was gonna say average. His he will not have an OPS over 650 on the full season. He's like hitting 260 or something in the last 20 games, so it's like oh he's kind of back, but it's like 260 with a 260 on base and a 260 slugging because he only hits singles. I love Lux and I feel bad. I hope they find a way to IL him for the rest of the season or something so he can mentally take a break because I don't want him gone specifically because I don't think he has any trade value. So what are you going to trade him for? They need a second baseman or they need a shortstop or they need a third baseman. I don't care. Trade for someone that can field a ball in the infield or put Miguel Vargas at second. When Mookie comes back, if Miggy Rowe is still a 760 OPS guy, I don't think they'll be able to pretend Gavin Lux deserves a platoon anymore. And they might just stick Mookie at second, which will be fine with. We need a third baseman. We need a second baseman. We need a shortstop. I don't care who it is. Well, actually, I do care. I don't want Craig Biggio to play on this team anymore. Or what's his name? Gavin Biggio. I don't. If it was Craig Biggio, it would be different, obviously. Biggio sucks. Kike is he comes through with his little hits, so I mean, I guess he could play whatever. Chris Taylor, I don't even want to say anything bad about them. I love them, but everyone knows they're awful, and they're getting if every at bat, every game you get at least 27 at bats, they're getting literally a third of them as the three guys. They're 3 out of 9. They're getting a third of the at bats in a team. The three worst hitters in all of baseball are getting regular at bats for the Dodgers. I'm not going to do it anymore. Trade for somebody, call somebody up. You can bring up Trey Sweeney. You could bring up that dude Lipschitz that's playing third base now. He has like 18 home runs. You could bring up his name's Gaultier. What the hell's his name? Like a right-handed utility player. You could bring up anybody, and it would be way more worth a shot than giving Kike and Chris Taylor more run, or have Miguel Vargas play second base like he was before. So yeah, I don't know. That's the end of my
Yeah, I
rant.
was gonna say I wish Vargas was still an infielder, man. Like to be honest with you.
I
Yeah,
know.
I mean
Yeah,
that's the move that has to be made. Like pitching would be out of necessity because of injury. Because fully healthy rotation is the best in the league. The bullpen is the best in the league, even with injuries. We needed before the injury, we needed an infielder because look, I mean Rojas has been great. You needed a bat, I should say, because fully healthy, the 1 through 6 is incredible, best in the league. I like Hayward against righties. Pajes, I just want Pajes to me is the key. If he can just stay 760 OPS and up, then like okay, he's hitting eighth. He's your center fielder. That's pretty good. but we need a bat. We need a right-hander that can hit lefties to platoon with Hayward, and we need either a second baseman or a center fielder or something. We just
Hmm.
need one of. We need a bat in the bottom of the lineup. Then Muncy gets hurt, and Mookie, one of the best players in the league, top five, gets hurt. Then you really need someone. You need someone bad,
Yeah.
and that's why we got Biggio, who's somehow even worse than Kike.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I
What
don't
it's
know.
so
Do
crazy
you?
watching
But
him.
the thing is, I don't think we're gonna make like a right now move. Like I think we'll make a move at the deadline, but we're gonna have to watch this for quite some time now.
Yeah, they're not. They don't. I genuinely the only time I've ever seen the Dodgers make a move based on an injury was, oh my god, what year is this? When Kershaw got hurt, like kind of seriously for the first time. The next day they traded for Bud Norris, and we were actually at his first start. That's the only time I have ever seen the Dodgers make a legitimate reaction move. They don't do that because they know the prices go up. That's why they traded for Bud Norris and not for an actual good pitcher, even though Norris was low key fine.
It's
Anyway,
not a
yeah,
very excited market this year, huh? For the deadline,
yeah. It's I
like it's
mean, it's
no big
the
games.
extra wild card team makes teams not want to sell,
Yeah, sure.
and then the pitching market is insane. Yeah,
But to be honestly, we don't really need a Trey Turner trade. We just need a solid player at the bottom lineup.
yeah. Also, it's 2016. I forgot, and he had a 6 ERA for us. Never mind. That first start though, he threw like 6 innings. But yeah, I don't really know what we're going to do. If I had to guess, it's going to be the same lineups that we've been seeing, and that's kind of it. Which I mean, I don't know. Maybe we can win some games. I I'm interested in the
Tr-
trade market. Go ahead.
Yeah, truthfully, I don't know what to expect in this next month. It's like this has been a weird year, to be
Yeah,
honest. It's like show it like you got the best players in the world, but injuries have hit you really hard. Yoshi, Bueller, Bobby, Kershaw, Mookie, Muncy. The bad players have been really bad, and it's like I don't know, like I don't see the hot stretch coming with this freaking lineup, you know? And
yeah,
it's not even like oh my god, like what we were doing in the off season. It's not the op- like they put together the best roster in America, but the injuries have hit us hard. And the guys that were like, okay, we need something from you. Outman, not an MLB player anymore.
yeah,
Lux, PK, Taylor, all these guys were like, okay, if they can be good, they've all been horrible. So it's just been a weird year. They have 50 wins. They just need to keep winning games because we're not gonna be scoring a lot of runs, and our staff isn't healthy. So it's like we are going to need Glasnow, Stone, Shohei, Teoscar, Freeman, Smith to carry us. We're gonna need our stars to be stars, and they have been, and that's why we've won. But everyone else been pretty bad, except the bullpen. Bullpen's been missing the league. So
yeah,
it's a very weird year to me. Very weird year to me. I don't know if uh, you really get what I'm saying. I don't know. It's just been pretty weird.
yeah. No, it makes sense because it's like we've never had. Well, actually, shouldn't say never. At the beginning of the year, we did, but after the beginning of the year, like the first 15 games, we have not had a 5, 6, 7 game stretch where it's like, oh, this is the run. It's starting. We're basically in July, and I don't know if we've won like 5 games in a row since the beginning of the year. It's just so odd. Like, even now, we're 8-2 in the last 10 games. I went to check. 10 games is the exact how many games that Mookie has missed. He got hurt on the 16th. It's the 26th as we're recording this. We're 8-2. It's not been bad. We've been good. It's just nothing has felt consistent. Every injury, every lineup graphic that we see is just like, oh my god, I cannot believe this. It's like seeing Steven Souza in the lineup again. I This team is kind of
You know,
defying
honestly,
logic.
this is kind of reminding me of 2021, to be honest. It's like great stars, incredibly loaded pitching staff that's hurt, and then a great lineup, but when they're hurt, there's not a lot of depth. So honestly, it reminded me of 2021 a little bit.
Yeah, and honestly,
Both
it's
had
even
elite bullpen.
crazier because 2021 we were horrific. Like at a certain point, like Max Muncy, I think he struck out in 50% of his at bats to start the year, and we ended up like with one of the greatest rosters ever assembled. And I think we have that now. So it's kind of if this is a 2021 trajectory, I'm very excited about it. I don't think we're getting a 2021 type trade, but
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely see that comparison though.
Yeah. Except there's no fake team that's gonna win 107 games in front of us.
Yep, not this year, Giants. I don't know. Who knows? Luis Robert and Garrett Crochet trade. No, honestly, that's the thing. Even
But
we'll
they
wrap
looked
this up in a little
impressive,
bit,
though,
but
I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, the thing is that all of the potential movable like would be upgrades to the lineup trades that the Dodgers have available to them are outfielders.
Yeah.
Somehow we don't need any more outfielders. I mean, well, we can upgrade, but we're not getting rid of Hayward. His platoon's fine. Pajes last 25 games, OPS over 800. It's been solid. Hopefully that can stick. Teoscar obviously not going anywhere. So it's like even now when there's potential gettable, like Luis Robert probably way more gettable than anyone thought he could be because he's just not been great. We would either have to give up Pajes to make room to replace him, or it's like, what do we do? So I don't know. Even the upgrades, it doesn't feel like there's a
Yeah,
real thing that we can
yeah,
do.
that's a funny thing though, is like it's just because we haven't all been healthy and clicked together.
Yeah.
Because 1 through 6, I always say that. But 7, if Paz has a 750 OPS, Hayward has an 800 OPS against righties, and Miggy V has a solid OPS against lefties, and then Miggy Rose stays at the 750 mark. It's a great 7 through 9. Hitting behind 3 MVPs and Muncy, who's gotten MVP votes like 3 different seasons. It's a heck of a lineup. It's just it
Yeah.
hasn't clicked together, you know.
Yeah. It hasn't. Well, we've
Maybe,
been on.
maybe
Yeah.
sorry, this might be disrespectful. Pajes Hayward platoon, and you get a center fielder. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like all of the outfield, despite how horrible it's been at points, right now is the most consistent thing we have. We know exactly who's going to be playing against who, and that's kind of crazy, truthfully. And we're not even mad about it. If Vargas is playing against a righty instead of Hayward, we get Teoscar and Pajes. It's like, okay, cool. I'm fine with that. And I am actually fine with that. So yeah, upgrade the infield. We will not, but it's nice to think about. Or Biggio, start closing your eyes and trying to pull the ball in the air like Hayward did. Other than that, Dodgers sweep, playing the Giants next. Got to kick their ass again. We'll see you soon. Go Dodgers.